Our second petition is petition number PE1458 from Mr Peter Sherby. This calls for the Scottish Parliament to urge the Scottish Government to create a register of pecuniary interests of Judges Bill or amend present legislation to require all members of the Judiciary in Scotland to submit their interests and hospitality received to a publicly available register of interests. The previous committee saw merits in the case made for such a register, and the call for such was part of the recent programme for government. My suggestion for the committee is likely to be to continue to keep the petition open and ask the Cabinet Secretary for Justice and Veterans for clear information on when he plans to take forward the commitment to this register and what form it will take. So again, I'd like to invite members to raise any comments or points that they wish on this. Russell, I'll bring you in. Russell Finlay.
Yes, thank you. I suppose I need to declare a bit of an interest in that I wrote the first press story about this petition when it was lodged in 2012. And as a journalist, I came to regular contact with the petitioner, Mr Peter Sherby, and continued to report on it for many years. Now, remarkably, and despite sometimes the best efforts of the judiciary, it's now almost 10 years old, which must be a record and perhaps says something about parliamentary committees. I'm not entirely sure what. Now, going forward, I agree entirely that we need to see exactly what the SNP government is proposing. I was surprised to see this in the SNP manifesto, and I found it very interesting because Nicola Sturgeon and successive Justice Secretaries have long been opposed to it in principle. And while there has been plenty said about this subject, and plenty more will be said about it, I think we should not lose sight of the fundamental issue, which is this is about transparency and accountability, and it's absolutely not about political meddling in judicial independence. I think the reason the petition has reached its 10th birthday almost is because many other MSPs from cross-party, some who are no longer in the Parliament, understood this principle, and that is perhaps why it's still alive, as frustrating as that is, that, you know, something that seems to be generally agreeable that doesn't seem to have meaningfully progressed. So let's just see what is being brought forward.
Okay, thank you very much, Russell. Bring in Rona Mackay and then Jamie Green. Rona.
Thanks, Convener. And notwithstanding what Russell said, that there is progress now. It was in the SNP government's manifesto. Do this, and on that basis, I don't think we should keep the petition open. I think we should follow up with a letter to find out timescales and when this is likely to be brought in. But that's my view. I think it's been a long-running issue, and it has reached a conclusion, and we just need to progress it, find out when it's going to happen.
Okay, thank you very much, Rona. Jamie Green, would you like to come in?
Thank you, Convener. I think the difference between this petition and the last one, albeit the length of time and the straddling multiple sessions of Parliament, there is comparison there. The difference here is that there is a commitment from the government to introduce the outcome that the petition seeks. However, words on paper and deeds and actions are two very different things. So I would say until we have sight of either the legislation required or a more detailed proposal from the government, which even something as simple as a policy consideration that Parliament can consider, given that a manifesto clearly relates to a term of Parliament, but a programme for government is an annual statement, and this was in the 21-22 programme for government, and obviously there are only a few months of that left. So I would expect that we would see some sight of more detail on that. I think it would be in our interest to write to the Cabinet Secretary to ask them to outline the timescales for the actions that they've promised to undertake. And it's at that point, if we are satisfied that that delivers upon the petition, then we could perhaps consider it closed, but I think it should remain open for now.
Okay, thank you very much indeed, Jamie. I don't think there's anyone else wanting to come in, so on the basis of the points made, I think we're all agreed. I know, Rona, you're minded to close off the petition. My suggestion would be that we keep it open, and as members have commented on, we seek further clarity on what the plan is in terms of taking this matter forward by the, and we'll write to the Cabinet Secretary in that regard. So we're looking for progress and some further update on timescales. So if we're all agreed, my proposal would be to keep the petition open and write to the Cabinet Secretary. Are we all agreed on that? Perfect. Thank you very much.